Years ago, I came across this quote that really stuck out to me. It read, "You can't solve a problem from the same level of thinking that you used to create them," by Albert Einstein. But for the longest time, I didn't really understand what it actually means or how to apply it into my life problems. My whole life, I try to create and make things from this state of survival and lack. I was just stuck in repeating the same patterns of thought and behavior that led me to the problem in the first place. And even when I was hitting my rock bottom, I was still frantically using the same mindset, trying to find the solution. Like, oh, I have to be this, I have to do this, I have to achieve this, I have to fix this about myself, I have to be like somebody in order to feel like I am worthy of deserving good things in life, to be loved, to be accepted. The whole time, all I felt was like I was running into a wall. Times and times again, my mindset was, in order to get to where I want to be, I have to fight for it, I have to force it, I have to compete for it, and I have to have it that way. Everything in my life felt like work. I didn't know how to enjoy myself. I did not know how to relax. I did not know how to enjoy the things that I got having worked so hard for. The whole theme of my life was just about do, and more, more, more. And even though there was sign of like exhaustions and burnt out that my body was trying to tell me, I would just rationalize and kept pushing on one things after another, one goal to fix after another. And that was my definition of stability and successful, to get and achieve as many things as I can. It was so exhausting, so difficult, so serious, so lonely. And if you can resonate with this, I think we can agree that it's very unlikely for you to feel better or to find the solution within the same pattern of thinking. So back to what the quote suggests is a shift in our thinking. To truly solve a problem, we need to take a step back, a huge step back, elevate our consciousness, and then look at our problem from a different perspective. Can we be honest with ourselves and admit that maybe the way we've been approaching every problem in our life was just simply wrong, or it does not have to be that way, because it was never about getting somewhere, but it's about who you want to become. You trying to do and get all these things in order to feel worthy. But what if you gotta feel it first, and then all these things naturally come to you? We got to turn the battle around. Instead of focusing on these draining thoughts about what you can do and achieve and improve and on the million reasons why you're not enough, how about you using all this energy into cultivating and embodying the quality of a successful person of your understanding? What did this person look like? How did this person treat themselves? How did this person treat the people that they love? And what is their approach when it comes to facing hardships? Instead of putting all of your energy into acquiring this materialistic thing to prove to the world that you are a successful person, how about we choose to taste the truth that you are so blessed, you are so lovable, that you have the privilege and the freedom to take the action to take care of yourself and the people you love around you. It took me hitting my very rock bottom to start seeing things this way. They say you can't see the proper light if you have never indulged in the deepest, darkest time. It's true. I was just so numb, so done with my life at this point that it was actually easy for me to disassociate from everything and everyone, including myself. I got no option left but to elevate my consciousness, which is a fancy way to say that I have to face myself instead of focusing on these stupid side quests just to avoid the elephant in the room. From that point, I started to switch from a set of external materialistic goal to more of like a holistic internal goal of how I view myself, how I carry myself, the relationship I have with myself when it's come to self-talk, food, fitness, appearances, basically everything that I have neglected. Once I had this clear goal, it felt like I finally have a purpose again. It was like a new project I'm actually interested in to focus my attention in, because I could not focus on anything before. I was no longer putting on my energy on like dwelling and focusing on all the things that I fail and lack, or all of these anxious thought about how I'm not being at a certain place in life, making a certain amount of money, being married by a certain age, having a house, whatever. None of that. Now I started thinking and asking myself questions like, what is important for me? What is my values? What makes life meaningful to me? What do I see myself be and do a couple years from now with the people I have in my life, like my parents, whom I'm so blessed to still have around, my siblings, the people that I love? How do I want to show up for them? And so from me operating from a place of fear, my motivation and purpose now stem from a place of love, because I realized that the root of all of my lofty goals was actually to be loved and to serve. Like, I want to bring value and make the people I love happy. And because the only way I know how to interact with other people is how I interact with myself, with this new clarity, I naturally become very disciplined about the thing that I find very tiring and meaningless to do before. I make it not my priorities now to work on the relationship I have with myself, take care of my health, organizing my life, healing all of the emotional triggers and the way I handle conflicts, so that I can be there to support the people I love in a healthier way than I did before. And setting intention is one thing, but applying it to your life is the actual true test. I will share with you something that I'm going through recently. So, growing up, my purpose and my drive of wanting to work really hard was to buy my mom a house. But whenever it's come close to happening, something bad would happen or it would fall through. And it was a lot of money and time lost that was one of the reasons that contributed to me hitting my breaking point. But anyway, not until recently, when I went through my dark times and change, it's finally happening now, and I'm so happy to be able to fulfill her wish. So now we're on this process of like designing and building the house, and I got into so many arguments with my mom about how it should be done. For an example, she told the architect that she just wants her bedroom to be this tiny little space next to the kitchen, because she has this habit of working herself to the brink of exhaustion, and then she would just crash. So that's why she just wanted like basically a place to lay down next to the kitchen. And she was very adamant about that. Hearing this, it triggered me so much. Like, I was so upset that I was like losing my sleep, because the reason I worked so hard is to provide her a better space and lifestyle so she wouldn't have to live the way she had. So I took some time to calm myself down and remind myself that all I can do is to try my best and provide her the means to change her lifestyle. But it doesn't mean that I'm gonna go and live her life for her. This is my tendency of being codependent and putting my happiness onto someone else. Like, this is not healthy boundaries. Like, at the end of the day, I still have to respect her way of life, and I still have to protect my own energy. Long story short, I simply share with her my own experience of how designing my new space have me shape my lifestyle. I suggest that she could make this her new chapter of her life, like to live slower, take care of her inner being, envision herself living and cooking and resting in this space rather than just a place to sleep. And it took her a little bit, but she finally agreed to change the design and actually make a well bedroom that have a space for her to meditate and all that. But even now, 3-4 out of 10 conversation I had with my mom, I would end up crying and got triggered, and it take me sometimes days or weeks to just be neutral again. But then after that, I would journal down and really figure it out. Why did it hurt me, and what is it that I have to do for my inner self to feel safe, rather than expecting that from her times and times again, knowing that's just not who she is. If you recognize your mother for who she really is and not dwell on who you expect her to be, you can move toward understanding her and accepting her. It used to break my heart to kind of have to parent my parents, but now I understand that they're not capable of giving me the love I expected because they never got it from their parents either. I'm grateful that they have tried their best to support me the best way they know how. And it helped me to have more compassion for my parents, and our relationship has gotten so much better. Like now my mom's like really excited to tell me about her day, what she did differently, and she would thank me for like teaching her how to see things from different perspective and improve the quality of her relationship. These are the things that really keep me going and get me out of bed in the morning. Same with my brother, like seeing how I am with my mom, they've actually opened up to me more, and I can be more of a listener, and sometimes that's all you can do anyway. When we were younger, whenever they come to me with a problem, I would just minimize their pain and get mad at them for not dealing it the way I was, which is just taking in everything, enduring it, act like nothing happened, and just push on. So instead of making them feel seen and heard, be understanding and validate them, I would get angry, lash out, and take out my bottle up paint on them and really ruin the relationship. Like I was just repeating the same way I got treated by my caretakers. But now I'm like actively working on stopping that cycle, and I'm able to have much better relationship with my family members. Another thing is, don't think all this time that leading you here are wasted. Take the example of the caterpillar. It needs to do its thing, looking scary, climbing to all of these dangerous branches, eating as much leaves as it needs to then end up in a dark cocoon in order to transform itself. You are actually in a very good place right now where your only options and choice is to transform, because this way of life is no longer working out to the life that you are heading to. This great phase that you're in, it forces you to really question what really matters to you and what drives you to want to change your life for the better, to put down the very thing that you use your whole life to get what you want. You literally have to shed and give up the mindset that make you you in order to be a new version of yourself. A butterfly? I know it's heartbreaking when you're lonely with your worn out heart. But imagine if someone trying to break open the cocoon, the butterfly is going to come out so weak and not going to be able to survive for long. So the universe, the intelligence in you is literally protecting you by isolating you and helping you grow by yourself to build a new foundation, reconstructing your thought and habit. Every new day that you choose to put on that gym shoe and get out the door, every time you choose to put on that gym shoe and get out the door, even though you're so tired after work, every time you stop putting in your body all of this excess food that your body doesn't need, or to like numb your emotion with substance, every time you go and take that shower and go to sleep on time rather than binge watch another episode, every time you take a deep breath and aware of that self-defeating thought rather than reacting to it the same way, every time you say something encouraging to yourself when you make a mistake, every time you get up and do the thing that you said you're gonna do rather than putting it off, these key moments are such strong foundation that you're building and preparing yourself to the next chapter of your life that you have long and worked very hard for. Acknowledge yourself and celebrate these tiny little wins. That's how you make changes in life, little by little, consistently. Last thing I want to remind you is that you are a born leader and you gotta embrace it. You know you have that innate desire to want to help others. You have the capacity to lead, to inspire others, and to bring out their best. All the struggle that you're going through right now simply because you refuse to follow someone else's path. You are meant to be lost right now so you can walk on your own, to get the knowledge and the experience that help you to be a better leader, to be humble, to have empathy and compassion for other people, to connect with others on a deeper level, and to see both sides of every issues. But yes, who doesn't want to be a princess with a supported CEO dad, and a mom who make you smoothie when you come back from your dance practice and you can talk about your day? But that's not my childhood either, and I've made peace with that. On the contrary, I'm so grateful for all the experiences that helped shape me into the version of who I am today. If it weren't for those stormy times, I wouldn't have such a deep understanding of who I am, and able to cultivate such a healthier relationship with myself and the people around me. Despite everything might seem very unsettling right now, a lot of time your feeling would absolutely cloud your judgment. A lot of time you'll be tempted to do anything and everything to try and escape the pain, and it certainly is not going to be straightforward. But know that you are very blessed and very loved to be given this opportunity to grow. Let's embrace tomorrow and every day as a new beginning to be the leader of your life. I really care about you, and I have no doubt that you absolutely will get through this phase. I'll check back with you in my next video.